Hey, GW coming to you live once again. Hey, this is like I said, day three of being sick, and I feel the worst of it now. I've been laying on the couch pretty much all day and sleeping. But just like yesterday, we watched another horror film called The Boogeyman from 1980. It's a pretty cool movie. Actually, it reminds me of growing up and watching the movies on Chiller Theater. 53 and 22. They used to air movies that would mirror this kind of movie. The suspense all through the movie, the gore in the middle toward the end. Not a lot of it, but just enough where it would shock you. This reminds me very much of one of those pictures. Um, this movie's actually quite unique in the way it's set up. It's not your traditional slasher. It has been compared to Halloween, and pretty much that was the pretty much the negative of this movie is it constantly got compared to Halloween in the style, the camera work, and a lot of other things. However, this film has a lot more going on with it than just a masked man and a knife. This has to do with supernatural stuff and mirrors, and it's pretty interesting to me what this picture kind of made me. The elements in this picture kind of unfolded. Basically, it starts out when the two main characters in the movie, I believe, are brother and sister. That's the way they're portrayed. So we're just going to say brother and sister and forget that last line I just said. But their mother is sleeping around with a boyfriend who, in the middle of their bedroom activities, for lack of a better term, the two kids want to spy and see what their mother's up to. And the boyfriend decides to tie up both little kids with rope and or the son with rope, and the sister pulls out a butcher knife and actually cuts him loose. From there, it turns into a much of a Halloween-esque beginning, where the son then murders the mother's boyfriend. And the one thing I will say, it's done pretty shocking, but the amount of blood and gore in the scene is very cheap, but still from the 80s, a pretty neat kill piece. What I liked about it was not the actual gore, but the lighting. I know that people are going to think I'm weird, but the lighting makes the shot work. From there, we flash ahead to see these two characters grown up and where they're at in their lives. And basically, throughout the movie, it turns into a supernatural deal because the spirit of the dead boyfriend now haunts the mirror. And anytime there's glass in this movie, someone's going to get messed up. Now, the amount of blood in the movie isn't really too much as compared to, say, let me think. Let me think. There's a fair amount of blood, but not a lot. I mean, we get to see various cuts on people's hands. One character gets his eyes burned. Scissors impale a girl in the throat. We get to see, if you're a nudity hound, you will see one naked breast in that particular scene. You will see um, a lot of blood covered people. Not, it looks like most of these people came out of a UFC fight by the time this movie's over. With blood trickling out of their eyes or nose or what have you. One kid gets his neck crushed by a falling window. The windows that go up and down, just ting, guillotine windows, I like to call them in movies because that's what I think they are. Um, Overall, this film is more supernatural, and it kept you wondering. And at the end, it's your classic ending of, well, the things in the mirror destroy the mirror. Well, it's pretty neat. Um, I did read that there was a sequel to this movie that was made in the year after this movie, but it was shelved. And of course, in the 90s, early 2000s, we had remakes and whatnot. They actually made a part three of this. But I looked on Amazon and I looked on the streaming videos and I cannot find it. But basically, yeah, the whole movie's about the guy getting killed, his soul gets into the mirror, and anytime there's, you know, glass around, like I just said, you're going to see people get killed. Oh, we also get to see, I forgot, we get to see somebody impaled from the back of the neck with a screwdriver, a Phillips head, I believe, or an ice pick, I can't really tell. His girlfriend, who finds his body, gets stuck in them, and they look like they're locked into a kiss. Not a lot of blood in that scene. Um, we have flying pitchforks. We have one flying pitchfork, which is interesting. We have a piece of glass to the eye. You also get the Exorcist devil vibe when one of the main characters goes under sedation and she actually talks like, the spirit of this boyfriend. And it's a pretty neat thing, and a lot of people have compared that to The Exorcist. And I mean, I see it, but I don't see it. There's all kinds of, if you really look, this is not your traditional Halloween. And I think comparing this movie to Halloween is just, you can do it in the style, but not in the content, I think. Um, in this film, I've passed it by, numerous times. Didn't really want to watch it, but figured, you know what? I'm sitting on the couch. I'm all or Advilled up. Let's watch this. And you know what? It turned out to be a pretty decent movie. And it was really good. It didn't overstay its welcome. It didn't delve into things. Now, the director, Uli Lamel, has said that this film was brought on by childhood fears, and some of the aspects in her childhood were, incorporated in this movie, which I think is pretty cool. Um, but yeah, it's right now. It's on Amazon. So I'm actually going to give you the cast in this movie. Also, I forgot there is a scene, and it's all these effects in this movie are practical. I am going to tell you that there's no CGI. There's, everything is done by either light or just practical effects. Again, a throwback to the 80s, what the 80s were all about and how they handled horror. So without further ado, the character of Lacey is played by Susanna Love, and she is amazing in this film. Her brother Jake is played by Ron James. Jake is, like I said, he's a pretty neat character because he gives you the Michael Myers vibe, and because he doesn't talk and he has violent what's the word I'm looking for, tendencies. However, he's not a psychopath. He is just completely traumatized. I did fail to mention there is one scene where he attacks a girl, and again, he's afraid of mirrors too. So as soon as he sees himself in the mirror attacking this girl, he lets go. Now, Dr. Warren's played by John Carradine. You guys don't know him. I mean, he's a legend. Willie's played by Nicholas Love. So one would have to wonder, are they brothers? Kevin is played by Raymond Boyden. Helen by Felicit Morgan. Ernest is played by Billy Rayburn. Now, Father Riley, he comes in at the end, and a lot of people have compared this part of the story to The Exorcist. I would say more like the Amityville Horror, because you have, a priest in the house, checking things out. Now, there's also, when this film starts, they are very young. So young Willie's played by Jay Wright, and young Lacey's played by Natasha Shiano. Now, the mother in the story is played by Gillian Gordon, and the whole story gets kicked off, like I said, whenever they kill the boyfriend. The mother, after the beginning and the flashbacks in the story, wants to see him one last time, and I believe sets them up for this thing to haunt them. She's played by, like I said, Gillian Gordon. The lover is played by Howard Grant, and you will not forget him. He just has a stone cold atmosphere about his presence in the movie. Jane is played by Jane Pratt, and Susan by Lucinda Zeising. Timmy by David Swim. They're the people that get killed on the beach if you guys don't see it. The teenagers are Katie Casey, Ernest Meir, Stoney Richards, and Claudia Porcelli. Again, I believe those are the people that get killed on the beach. If you guys haven't seen it, you should check it out. But all in all, having bypassed this film over and over and over again, and reading about it and having no interest, I decided, you know what, I'm going to sit here and check it out. And honestly, it was a really neat movie, because sometimes you don't want the slasher or the maniac. You want a good supernatural thing. Now, I have yet to see the sequel, obviously, because I can't find it on here. It's from Made by 81. I'm sure it's somewhere. But the same characters, I believe, are in the movie, the sequel. And it is also written, directed, and produced by Uli Lamel. So right now on Shudder, on AMC Plus, if you guys have that, you can watch it. But yeah, like I said, this virus it sucks, guys. It really does. I feel like garbage. And some people, my wife has even said to me this morning, she goes, dude, you don't look good. Today is the worst day. I mean, I hardly did anything all day, and I slept. And like I said, whatever this is going around. And I really don't want y'all to catch it, because it sucks. And hopefully Saturday or Sunday, I'll be shaking this off. I've been drinking a lot. It's been helping. Sleeping too. But you guys don't worry about me. I'm cool. Um, let's see. What else was I going to mention real quick? You know what? I don't even remember. But you guys, I'm still alive, still kicking. Wearing the Spider gear, man. Y'all got to check that out. Spider's a good company. You should check it out. Anyway, yeah, if you got some time or you're staying up late and you want to watch a pretty decent throwback to the 80s, check out The Boogeyman for 1980. It's definitely worth your time. It's not for everybody, but if you love a little supernatural, a little 80s style filmmaking, and a little bit of blood and gore, not over the top, check it out. You'll like it.